Hello and welcome. It is Saturday night, which means it's time for Saturday Nights Live. I am Adam. This is Highly Articulated. We are going to chat about Mythic Legions. As many of you know, I, I, I assume all of you know, if you're watching a show called Saturday Nights Live about Mythic Legions, that very recently the Four Horsemen did their very own con, Legions Con. Now, I was unfortunately not able to attend this year, although I have every intention of going next year. But there was one of the knights who was able to go, and when I reached out to him to ask if he wanted to chat about going, he said, "I thought you'd never ask." So he had been waiting. He was ready. He has brought his own PowerPoint presentation. Although to be fair, he did not create the PowerPoint presentation for my benefit. I will let him share with you for whom he created the PowerPoint project. But without any further ado, let me add to the stream a a legend now after PowerCon. Sheng Ming Gu, what's going on, buddy?
Hi, Adam. How are you?
I'm very well. I'm very excited to talk to you about Legion's Con. It's one thing to hear everybody in the Cabal talk about it, but it's another thing to get an insight from a Canadian. So I'm very, very excited. What's going on with you? Have you sort of come down from the high of Legion's Con yet?
Well, yes and no. It took a while because right before Legion's Con, I was in vacation from work, so I took like 2 weeks off, and then I came back to work on Monday, and on Friday I was in Secaucus, New Jersey for Legion's Con. So it has been a rock and roll few weeks, but now that the month of November is nearing his end, it's yeah, I came back down to earth.
Just in time for Christmas to ramp itself up too, right? So,
Yeah.
just very quickly, I want to say hello to Trevor, 1-6 shooter. Let's go. Trevor said you got to come down next year. Well, I'm very much intending to come down next year. You know, my guest was there this year. Miko says hi, all. What's going on, Miko? Now, just a couple brief questions to sort of set this up. I see behind you there's lots of toys.
Yeah.
When did you get into Mythic Legions?
That's a great question. I got into Mythic Legions last year around the same time as of right now. So I bought my first Mythic Legion, which was a Shadow Icrodron, I believe, last year. And since then, I've been busy. I've been busy collecting left and right. So yeah, so it's been a year.
I've seen in a lot of sales posts on the Cabal and in Knights of the North, PM'd you or like PMing you from you with your name on it for some big pieces. Now Greg Shaw in the Knights of the North posted recently. Did you pick up that lot that Greg posted?
Yep, we spoke today. I was actually at a competition today, from like 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and we spoke a few times. He sent me pictures. ID some weapons from the Gideon Heavisbrand figure, wrong in his pictures, and yeah, I'm getting his lot.
Gideon, Morgulith,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
Atlas, or
yeah, yeah. Actually, Attila, Lewis, yeah.
that's some
It's
pretty
a
decent
nice line. Yeah.
lot.
Well, I'm getting the lot mostly for Gideon. It's the one I don't have. I think that one I don't have, and the rest I believe I do. But yeah, it's mostly for him that I'm getting the lot.
Very, very nice pickup. I refer to you as a sort of legend in the Knights now, and Miko says I wish he was my legend too, but seems I missed that opportunity. There will always be another opportunity. Jay Wright says hello. One six shooter says good score. I saw him comment on it today, so that was. Miko says my first figure was actually the full Arethyr Wave. Never had a single before. That's a pretty major score too. That's pretty major. Now, did you go to do Legions Con alone, or was there? What did you have an entourage? Was there?
So I went with my girlfriend. We drove from Montreal. So for those who don't know me, I'm from Quebec, so in Montreal. So we drove together from Montreal down to Secaucus, New Jersey. But and I want to give a shout out to my friend here, Amir Hassan from Toy Snowman. From some people might know in the toy community. He's a toy seller based in Montreal here. We were supposed to go together. Until he decided that he was going to the Montreal Toy Con to sell some toys. So he left me going along with my girlfriend. But yeah, we were supposed to go together Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But I think he regrets a little bit, maybe.
There's always next year.
Yep.
I think there's going to be a pretty big Canadian contingent. Everybody that I've talked to has been like, I planted. So I mean, for anybody that doesn't know, I only got into Legions like within this year as well. And this year didn't work out because it was just too soon, and I couldn't plant the seed early enough. But I planted the seed a few months ago for next year, so I think it'll be fine to go next year. It happens to fall basically on my daughter's birthday, so. But I said, look, what if I bring you a really great present?
Or you can bring her along.
That's fine. As long as you bring me a present, it'll be fine. Yeah. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I think there's a bunch of people that are kind of saying they want to go, but we'll see how many people can get down there. Now, did you stay at the sort of official hotel, the La Quinta Inn, or did you stay adjacent to, or where did you stay when you went down there?
Actually, you know what? I can show you my PowerPoint right now. I'm in his text.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, so I'll just put it up right here. There we go.
Amir, we forgive you. That's I mean, it's understandable.
What is he saying?
Oh, he's saying that he had already booked the Montreal Toy Con after he bought the tickets. So it's kind of like but I mean, to be fair, that's his business, so he's got to make his money, right?
100% right, yeah. So there we go. So
there we go. And like I said,
are you seeing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I'm seeing it. Great.
Awesome.
So let's just skip here. So that was our drive from Montreal to Secaucus. So we stayed at the Royal Motel, which was 10 minutes walk from the Legions Con hotel.
Okay.
Basically, I was looking online for either Airbnb or hotel that was close to Legions Con, but I booked pretty late, and it was all $200-$300 a night US for one room. So it was gonna be like 500-600 Canadian for the weekend. And I told myself that's way too much for just 2 days where I just need to sleep. So I found one that was pretty cheap. It was like 110 or 112 US for one night. So it was basically 300 Canadian for both nights. So yeah, it was a motel, 10 minutes of walk from the Legions Con. It was great. It was great for the price it was.
And and I was going to say for the price too, like, and we'll sort of talk about some pricing and stuff sort of at the end, just in terms of like when we talk about should we go next year or whatever. But you had your girlfriend with you, but your girlfriend is not a Mythic Legion.
No, she's not.
collector?
She no, she just accompanies me because she doesn't collect. She's not into anything that you see behind me. Marvel Legends, Transformers,
So,
Mayfix.
so what I mean is, she wasn't really willing to chip in.
No, but she paid for the gas, so
Well, that's something. I mean, that's
yeah,
pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
yeah,
So
yeah, of course,
she just went to support you. She just went
yeah,
because you said this is something that I love. Do you want to come along?
yeah, yeah. She's been
That's awesome.
supporting my hobby for a while now. She's always coming with me for Comic Con, for different events that I go to. Yeah, she's just a great supporter of what I love, which is action figures. So
Jay says I'd like to make it next year. I want to make it to either PowerCon or Legions Con. Well, Jay, I and probably a bunch of people are going to Legions Con. So if you want to go with a bunch of us, you know what the right decision is. Facebook user, I don't know who it is. I apologize. I don't have my Facebook page open here. Should have slept in the car to save more money.
actually, it's funny that you mentioned that Facebook user, because some people slept in the hotel in the line, slept in the line. Some people were in line Friday evening at, I guess, 5-6 p.m. I think some
Yeah.
people posted pictures on the Cabal that they were in line Friday night, forced the Saturday opening doors, so they slept like in their camping chairs in the hotel hallway. So yeah, it's a possibility.
I'm not gonna lie. When I saw that, I thought that looked pretty interesting because you're still nice and warm. It's still inside.
Yep.
So as much as I'm planning to book a hotel room, if I go and book with a bunch of people, I may be willing to volunteer myself to be that person that sits in the line. But we'll see. That's still a long ways away.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens between now and then. But I did think that was pretty interesting. Okay, so you went down with your girlfriend.
Yep.
You stayed a 10-minute walk, that's nothing. I mean,
It was the best. It was the best because our plan was to the drive less possible when we arrived there.
Mhm.
It was about, so we left early on Friday morning. We left about 8 or 9 o'clock.
Mhm.
It was a 7-hour drive, I believe, 6.5, 7-hour drive. We stopped by in Albany or in the middle, and then we arrived. So we checked in at the hotel first, at the motel first, and then we went to get our badges, which was between 5 and 9 p.m. on Friday evening, if I'm correct. So we got our badges, and then yeah, it was perfect. 10 minutes walk was the best we can get at that price, that close to the venue.
Now you're in Montreal, and I know that a lot of the guys that I plan to go with are in Toronto. And I can't speak for you in Montreal. I think Montreal is a little more willing to walk. I know that people that live in Vancouver and people that live in Toronto don't walk anywhere. So to me, 10 minutes is nothing because I live in a city where nothing is close to anything. So 10 minutes to me is like, oh, that's just a couple blocks. That's no big deal. It doesn't even matter.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
My mailbox is like 5 minutes walk.
And the best was also on Friday evening and on Saturday evening. We were able to go to Manhattan, so it was just one bus away from New York. So yeah, it was 30 minutes, and it was faster than Uber or by car because of the traffic and the bus. They have a special line, so it was like 30 to 40 minutes from our place, from our motel to Times Square. It was perfect.
Had you ever been to Manhattan? Have you ever been to
yeah I've been there a few times, and my girlfriends too, so we just went to the restaurant we wanted to go, and we enjoyed the evening, but it was way too crowded. It was way too many people, so we didn't stay long. We didn't
now you touched on this by mentioning the restaurant you want to go to. Amir said, let's talk food. Any Chick-fil-A or Popeyes?
Actually, we didn't go to Popeyes, but we did try Chick-fil-A, which is good. We didn't have it here in Montreal, so we did try that. But
and Amir, please don't start a necessary war at Popeyes, though. Jay said, I will even walk 10 to 20 minutes. Gives you time to burn a rocket. Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. that's a valid point. Amir said, listen, Facebook user, you don't have a vote in this. To be fair, we don't even know who it is. So maybe, I don't know, maybe although Amir is watching us on Facebook too. So he knows so he knows sort of who's saying what on Facebook there. But go ahead with you've got the PowerPoint. Let's get through it.
It's a pretty basic presentation, so I'll just go through it. So here we go. So that was the route to New Jersey, Secaucus. So basically, for those who don't know, I guess pretty much if you guys are watching this show, you know that Four Horsemen Studios are based in New Jersey. So that's probably where the next year's Legion's Con is still going to be. So in New Jersey, so it's not going to go down to California or Florida. It's going to stay close to us, close to Quebec. Oh, it's Bill. Hi, Bill. I know him.
Yeah, that's so with a lot of the collectors that I know, like most of the admins are based in and around Toronto. Patty is in Montreal, but Patty is thinking that he's going to drive down. He may hitch a ride with you or vice versa.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, you know Patty, right?
Yeah, I know him for a few years now. We collect Marvel Legends. I think that's how we connected a few years ago before the pandemic started, because we're both in Montreal. So yeah, he's a friend of mine from a few years now.
So we may very well have multiple vehicles going down. If you guys go down in one vehicle, and I'm trying to talk, a couple of guys are saying, "Oh, we should just fly from Toronto," and I'm like, "No, we should take a van or whatever." Like the road trip is part of the fun, you know. You add a day to the trip.
Yeah,
and then you also save on the road.
Yeah, and you also save on the plane ticket, you know.
Well, that too. And then if everything falls through as far as hotels, we can always sleep in the van.
Exactly, sleep in the van. Yeah. So you're talking about the van. Oh, so I think he has a question.
No. Jay just said I was formerly the OG Facebook user. I evolved, so can you. What he's saying is the Facebook user. If you go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, you just hit one button and it'll let us see who you are. So go ahead and do that if you want.
So you were talking about the van. I want to brought up a point that all these are from Jeremy Gerard from the Cabal. For those who don't know, I just translated everything in French to better show it to my girlfriend. So this year's venue was perfect for those who arrived by car. So they had a huge parking garage right across the event. So that's where a lot of people parked. And there was a small, you can see number 4 here, which is the Coles, which there's a few stores here. So right here. So that's another huge parking. So it was perfect for if you ride by car or by van. Yeah.
And the event was in a hotel. So if you had booked sort of early enough and wanted to spend a little bit more, you can stay at the hotel that has the event. So you could effectively park and then just be there for the whole weekend.
100%. Yeah. So when they opened the tickets, I believe it was in May or in May or between April and June, something like this. Initially, you were able to buy tickets and then book a room inside the La Quinta in New Jersey. But I didn't book right away because I wasn't sure if we're going to stay there. There was clearly cheaper options than staying inside the hotel. But yeah, so the event was in the first floor of the hotel. They booked the whole first floor, which was like one main room and 4 or 5 smaller rooms. So that's the whole venue.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So yeah, there we go. Okay. So
I'll stop you if I have a question.
That was just exactly what I was talking about. So it's not on scale, but you can see that the registration table where we went was on Friday evening was right here. So the hotel entrance was here. They had a displays set up here with the new just revealed Necronominous figures and some Cosmic Legions, if I'm correct. Some displays right here, and so that's the huge line where people were waiting on Friday evening for the door, and that's the main room where all the people were. And that huge line is because the Four Horsemen table were here and the Legion's Crown table was here. So they had 3 Four Horsemen table and 1 Legion's Crown table right there. So that's where people were all waiting in line, right in this line. So this was the main room, and they had 3 breakout rooms and a relaxing room where there was nobody the whole weekend. There was nobody until, like, they said it was going to be a place for gathering and just people talking, but there was no chair, and there was like 2 tables, so there was nobody in that room, but everybody was in this room or outside. In the here there was like a few chairs here that people hang out here. And so there was 3 breakout rooms where the artists, the customizers, did their presentations.
Now, I may be sort of jumping ahead, but were you able to sort of get into any of the breakout rooms? Was there any sort of thing that you wanted to check out? Any artists or any of the events?
I did. I went to see who did I went to see? I think I went on Saturday. I went to see Jeremy Gerard, and I think I was supposed to do on something on Sunday, but I didn't go. So that was pretty much the only one I went to. Yeah, I stayed most of the time in the main room.
But that's just because there was so much to see.
Yeah, but I heard there was a lot of great stuff going on in the rooms. I sometimes I did have a few peeks from outside in the hallway. I know that Dennis Derby, he had a painting. He was teaching some painting for like smaller details, and that was great. People loved that. That's what I remember.
There was definitely a couple sort of breakout things that I would have gone to if I had been there. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom did a bit of a run through of the game, and I would have gone to that because I absolutely am just obsessed with that line. But I don't blame you for not going, because from the sounds of it, like, a lot of times you go to cons and there's like 1 or 2 things that you want to see, but from the sounds of it, like, there was so much cool stuff in the room that very few people actually left over the 2 days.
Exactly. So inside the main showroom, there was so many tables, so much great custom figures that people did that you just stuck in that room, and I didn't want to leave.
Yeah. So Bill's fixed this. Are Legion's Con's exclusive figures revealed on the same day of the event, or Four Horsemen does a showcase beforehand? Do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. So basically the event exclusive figures were revealed, I believe, I don't remember when they were revealed, but they were revealed before the con. So they were revealed like maybe you can correct me, like a few months before.
I was gonna say 2 months or maybe even 3 months before, so that people knew exactly what the exclusives were. There was no surprise. Like, it was the exclusives everybody knows. What people don't know is what the Four Horsemen are going to bring to sell in terms of older figures.
Exactly. So they were so this year there was 2 sets of exclusives and a set of exclusive pins from Legion's Con 2022, which they only made 100 of, and it sold out super quick. But yeah, so those were revealed way before the con happened. But what people didn't know was what the Four Horsemen brought. And I just want to point out that if you next year, for those who wants to buy older figures and who wants to go to the Four Horsemen table, that's where you gotta have to be in line for the Four Horsemen table. People were in. So on Saturday morning, when the doors opened for the main showroom at 9:00, I was in line maybe around the lawn, in front of close to the front desk. We just entered the hotel entrance, and people were all still waiting in line. But I didn't want to go to the Four Horsemen table because there wasn't much things that were interesting for me, so I just went ahead, go to the main room directly. But for people who wanted older trolls or Krampus or Balius or Eritir or older stuff like. I think the figure that surprised people was Snag. They had Snag for $40. The goblin with the hat.
Really?
Yeah, so that was one that surprised people on Saturday was Snag. That was a 40. Of
Shoot.
course, they had Madness, they had Vortod, they had Airtier Wave, they had the entire Alicia Wave, the Lush Legion Builder. So a lot of people, I think, went there to buy some extras for customizing. So yeah.
And that's, for a lot of people, that's the draw of Legion's Con, like that alone, right? Just getting access to some of the older figures at Four Horsemen's pricing, which is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And so for some people, they're picking up the third or fourth or fifth or 10th of Magnus to army build or to customize or whatever. Jay asks a good question. Are you guys planning on interning? Any interest? You didn't do the intern for a day. Is that something that interests you?
It is, but I don't think it's possible for my job. So for those who don't know what it is, Intern for a Day is an event that they do during the whole weekend of Legion's Con. So it's on Thursday, So on Thursday they do Intern for Intern for a Day. On Friday it's G-Con, so that's where they reveal the future waves, and on the weekend is Legion's Con. No, I don't think I'll be able to do that because of my work and schedule. I have to skip. I'll have to put all my vacation days on the whole weekend. So for the whole week, so it's not gonna be it won't be a possibility. So I have to leave on like Wednesday, so it's not a possibility.
Yeah. Jay, I would like to go, to answer your question. I would like to go. I'm definitely interested in it. We'll see if it works out. Being on the West Coast, it's going to take me, time to get out to the East Coast and then time to get from the East Coast sort of down to New Jersey. So I'll just have to see if it all makes sense, or whether I have to leave like 3 weeks beforehand, because I can't take that long. Yeah. But I mean, if it's one day, one way or the other, I would very much like to go, because the Intern for a Day looks really, really fun. And for anybody that's not familiar with Intern for a Day is basically a day that you spend at the Four Horsemen Studios, just seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff. You get to see, how they work on different things, and you get to meet the painters and the sculptors, and you get to meet Chris, whether you like it or not, and George, whether he likes it or not, and so on and so forth. So I'm definitely interested, and I think if I do go, being from the West Coast, I probably won't be able to go that many times in my lifetime. So if I go, I think I try to make it worth my while, and probably tack that onto the trip. But we'll see. But go ahead. So that was Saturday morning. So how long did you have to wait in the lineup from when you sort of got in the lineup to when you got in the door?
So the doors were opening at 9 a.m. I went into the line at 8 a.m. So I waited an hour.
Okay.
But to think about it again, it wasn't that worth it, because everybody was in line mostly for this line for the Four Horsemen table. So when they opened the door at 9 o'clock, everybody went in super quickly if you want to just go in the room. So yeah, it wasn't that useful to wait in line. So on Sunday, I didn't wait in the line.
Okay.
People were still, so on Sunday morning the line was maybe around here, around the halfway when at 9 a.m. when the doors open. But I just went in directly. I didn't. Yeah, it wasn't needed to stay in line.
And so if you didn't want to go to the Legion's table, you could basically, now you have access to this and I can't use my cursor.
Yeah.
You could basically, like, there's sort of two sides to that hallway, and the one side, the one side you got to go. This is all mirrored. You got to go up and around to the Legion's Con table, but you could effectively just go in right into the door.
Exactly. So yeah, that's what I was talking before. So I was in line at 9 a.m. when the door opened. People were all still online. I was somewhere here, I was like, okay, I'll just go in, and these doors were all open for the main entrance, which is this room here. So that's where,
Right.
as you can see here, those are the 4 doors that you saw right here.
Yep.
And that's the entrance for the 4 horsemen tables that were there. So that's where that is. So that's the door for this. Yeah.
And then once you're in,
Yeah.
it's Disneyland for Mythic Legions collectors.
100%. Yeah. So right when you go in, you see on your so that's how the room was configured this year. When you go in on your left, the second table you see is the one from Nikki Nicole Customs. For those who don't know, she's like the queen of customizing beautiful stuff that she does. So she has her custom figures, custom painted heads on her table, and then you just walk around and you see everybody's work.
And if I'm not mistaken, if you go through the second or third door, you go straight in and see the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom table.
Exactly. It's somewhere here, I believe.
Are you into that line at all? Does that line interest you at all?
Not at this moment.
All right, fair enough. I'll leave it.
I saw some. Yeah, so I spoke with the guy. I saw the figures in person. They look cool, but if I go into the line, I would just go in full on, like I would just buy everything. And right now, it's not everything in the line that catches my eye. So yeah, there's a few things. I think the gorilla I like, but the gorilla looks nice. But yeah, so I have to be like really love everything. If I get one, I'll get the rest. So I have to.
Yeah, that's what I did. So it's not.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you're in the room. What were you most interested in seeing? What was your checklist? What did you need to see first? What did you intend to pick up?
So I've been buying a lot of Mythic Legions in the past year, so I'm pretty much caught up on older figures, like regular figures that you can buy from the Cabal, talking with people. So my main focus of the weekend was the custom pieces that I never bought. So basically, Jeremy Gerard, who was one of the organizers of the event, he has a website called Legion's Shop, where he runs a lot of custom unpainted pieces, painted pieces, painted figures, etc. And but the shipping from Legion's Shop to Canada is horrible. For 3 small painted heads, it's like $50 US shipping. So I never pulled the trigger on the head that I saw on Legion Shop in the past year. So that's probably my main focus, to see custom pieces that I never saw in person, custom figures. So yeah, that was my main focus.
And are we going to see them in the slideshow, what you picked up?
No, not in the slideshow, but I do have some pictures, and I do have some things that I brought here around the table with me to showcase. But no, not in the PowerPoint. In the PowerPoint, I do have pictures of the exclusives.
Sure.
Just right here. So that's the names of everybody that's in the main room. And so yeah, that was the those are the show exclusives. So that's me telling my girlfriend, we need to get 2 of these, each person, 2 of this. So yeah,
I absolutely love. So maybe I misunderstood this. Did you make this PowerPoint before or after you went?
Oh, before. I went before. I did it before.
So you made a PowerPoint presentation as a crash course for your girlfriend, for like, okay, here's how this is gonna go.
Exactly.
Here's what you need to know. You need to grab these. You need to grab these, and that's all that's the plan for the weekend.
Yeah, 100%. So she, like I said, she supports everything that I collect, but like she has no idea what is what, where to go, what figure is exclusive, what is that, so which one's expensive, which one's the rare one. So I did the slideshow to tell her everything, like from the driving to the where we're staying, to the exclusives, to the room, the plan, everything. Yeah. and she's so when we left on Friday, there was no there was still a limit of two exclusive per person, right? So
yeah.
she had a ticket, so she could buy 2 of each. So yeah, that's a plus. That's a plus.
So she had no idea what she was in for by the end of the weekend.
No,
but we'll get there when we get to the end of the weekend. Scott Baker, what's going on, my friend? I'm glad that you didn't miss this and sort of log in right at the last minute. Scott says it was so much to take in. Don't think I've ever said wow that many times in one day.
Yeah, I know how you feel.
And that's honestly, that's how it sounds like everybody feels. Like, the pictures, maybe you can sort of speak to this point. It seems like the pictures don't do it justice. It seems like the weekend is just so much more than of
course, clearly the picture doesn't do it justice, because you have to be like in the room to see the tables, to see the custom pieces in hands, to hear everybody talking about Mythic Legions, to talk with people about Mythic Legions, to chat left and right, to chat with people in line when I was waiting on Saturday morning, from Florida, from New York, upstate New York. So it was like Scott said, it was wow the whole weekend.
Wow, the whole weekend. It just starts with a W and it ends with a W, and in the middle it's just wow.
Yeah.
Jay says that you're too organized. He's a hot mess. I can attest to the fact that I'm pretty sure Jay is a hot mess. Which is why you have to do all this organizing before. You have to have your PowerPoint presentation in line before you leave.
Yeah.
100%. Trevor says, I hate that phrase. I don't. Which phrase do you hate, Trev? That's I'm curious, because I'll just repeat it from now on.
By the way, I was able to hi Trevor. I was able to buy a custom head from Trevor on Sunday.
Oh, that's awesome. I was gonna say, you mentioned that you sort of, you're in the room, you're checking out all the tables. You mentioned that you're interacting and sort of meeting people and chatting with people. Who did you meet? Who was there people that you wanted to meet? I know that there was sort of tables that you wanted to see, but
well, of course. So let's show you. I can show pictures of the room.
Yeah.
So, oops. I'll just do this.
I still can't get over the fact that you did a PowerPoint presentation for your girlfriend. That's so great.
Here,
okay. Trevor says that the phrase that he hates is the pictures don't. As a photographer, I now understand, and that makes sense. However, I will say this, Trevor, your photographs of the figures are fantastic.
Yeah.
And I've definitely been sold on figures because of Trevor's photographs. However, getting them in hand is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
They're always better in hand. And Trev says it was great meeting you. And he means you, not me, because I wasn't there.
So so here was the I'll just this right. So that's the display I was talking about when you were in line close to the entrance. So that's where the
so that was out front. That was like outside the event.
Yeah, that was outside the end. Yeah, it was the closer to the lounge in the main in the entrance. Yeah, you can see the figures here. Let's just do this. Yeah, the new. Is it? Can you see it clearly?
Yep, absolutely. Yep, it looks great.
Okay. So yeah, now, they had a display for the.
So you were. Sorry, I'll just interrupt very quickly. You drove down on Friday, so you weren't watching G-Con. So did you catch up sort of Friday night?
No, I wasn't watching G-Con, but I did go on the Cabal a few times during our drive to when my girlfriend's driving to see what was released throughout the day.
You're like, take the wheel. I gotta look at my phone.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I was able to take a quick peek of some of the stuff that was revealed, and I saw them in person I believe. I don't remember if they were already in the cases on Friday evening, but on Saturday morning they were clear. Definitely are.
Okay, yeah. So in time for the event, they were there. Yeah.
So yeah, so the first person I met was Nikki Nicole.
Mhm.
So I bought a few custom pieces from her.
Everybody, I mean, I've seen her work, and her work
Yeah.
is fantastic, second to none. But everybody that I've ever sort of heard speak about Nikki, they say that she is absolutely the most charming and fantastic person.
Yeah. So I have here. So one of the things that I really wanted to get from the weekend was some custom dwarf heads.
Yep.
That I really wanted to get. So this one was the first one that I bought throughout the weekend.
Yep.
So this is from. Oh wait, can I see here?
Nice.
Can you see it? Yeah. So this one with the white beard.
Yeah.
It's really nice. So I have it on the new deluxe Legion builder. Yeah. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I also bought a temple, like a knight with a white beard head.
Yep.
But I have it. I forgot to bring it here. It's in my display. But yeah, I bought that from her too. That's more custom dwarf heads that I regret not getting. I saw these. I saw pictures with these head on Instagram from the artist afterwards. I was like, I should have gotten a few from him. So basically, for those who are wondering, those custom pieces they range about 30 to 50
for the heads, for the painted head.
Exactly. So depending,
which is really good.
Yeah, 30 to 50 US. So
yeah,
the price that I saw the most was 40 US. So that painted head was 40. I believe those were 35 or 40. So yeah, so that's the regular US dollar. So that was the price throughout the weekend for custom heads, painted heads. So the unpainted heads were like 20, 25, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you do like custom painting and stuff like that yourself, or are you more? No. Yeah.
Do you?
I dabble, but that's part of the reason that I think 35 to $50 for like a painted head, it saves me like a week of struggling to try to figure out how to paint a head. So it's so worth it to me.
Yeah, because you have to try, and then you have to buy a few. If you begin, you have to try.
You're gonna screw some up.
Yeah, on heads that you like less, but you like them all, so you don't want to screw up any which. So yeah, no, I don't. I don't paint myself, so that's why the focus of the weekend was custom pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So here you can see the price list for the Four Horsemen table.
Mm-hmm.
So basically it's pretty cheap for what it is.
It's more or less like Four Horsemen pre-order pricing from
exactly. Yeah. So
a few dollars, like everything seems to be kind of rounded up.
Exactly. Yeah. Standard sixes figure is 37 US, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's rounded, but that's pretty much the price. Outside these, they also had the Headless Horseman. They had the Krampus. They had. I was surprised, but they had a few weapon sets, like the Knight's weapon set, Vampire weapon set, and the Elf weapon set. I bought those on Saturday, I believe. Yeah. So they had those. That's one that I first thought I found really cool, but that's $100 US, and I didn't get it, and it sold pretty quickly. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine. I mean, that's. I mean, look, if you're buying an aftermarket figure on the Cabal, you're spending that much anyway.
Yeah. This one was from Chris, I believe. This one here.
Okay.
So yeah. So except other than the action figures, they also have people that were selling custom dials. They have people that were selling custom special effect pieces like fire and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They had Sean Struck was selling his custom made capes, soft goods pieces. Yeah. So it was not only just figures, but everything that comes around with it. So that was the Lone Wolf Lab. They had a Legion Strong exclusive dial that goes inside a detail for the Headless Horseman. That was great. That was really cool. That one attracted my eye because it's based on the Marvel Legends She-Hulk body, which is
Okay.
not something I was expecting to see, but works
Uh-huh.
great for a female orc. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Just and the She-Hulk body would be just slightly taller, I think, than like a
yeah.
1.0 orc.
Well, I can see a regular orc body with the warthog head right here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's taller, but it was perfect. That one was sold unfortunately when I arrived. So
Mm-hmm.
it was. So one tip I would tell anybody that goes, if you see something, buy it.
But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
if something, because there's so many, like a lesson that I learned this weekend, that there's so many things that you found interesting, but if there's
Yes.
one thing that you find more interesting than everything else, get it, because chances are other people have their eyes on them. Don't
Mm-hmm.
wait until Sunday to talk
Mm-hmm.
down the prices. Get it, because it will sold crazy fast. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you like it, chances other people are looking at it as well. So it's
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, so I got this head here. Wait, I have it right here. This is a red orc head.
Nice. So,
I believe
so,
this one.
so does that match the Fury Clan, like the Furious Four?
Yeah, give me 1 second. Yep, it does. So here I have a. There you go.
Nice.
I'll just pop this head off, and there you go. It matches perfectly.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. And
Yeah.
whose piece was that? Do you remember?
That was from Lenny Kingpin. Yeah, he
Oh.
had he was selling these heads,
Mm-hmm.
painted heads. Oh, that's another guy, and a few custom pieces as well that he did that were
Mm-hmm.
great. Yeah, so there we go. So that's Emil, for those who
Yeah.
don't know. So we were the two that were not from the United States. He flew in from Sweden, I believe. I think.
Yep.
Yeah. So we were the two that were there we go.
And you got
I
photobombed there as well.
Yep. There we go. From the guy from the My Wife Shouldn't Kill Me podcast. Yeah.
Yeah.
So these were the four Fantastic Four tribute figures that he didn't show before, that he premiered
Mm-hmm.
at the Legion's Con.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they were great. People didn't expect him to sell. For those who don't know, those behind, I didn't take pictures of those behind because they're pretty popular right now. That's the Avengers set that he did, and he sold it to Trevor. I don't know if Trevor's still here, but I think you have the set right now.
I'm surprised we haven't seen any pictures from Trevor with them yet. Now I suspect that we will see them sooner rather than later, because I don't think that Trevor bought them just to squirrel them away somewhere. But that could just be down to he really wants to get the perfect shot, or
the best pictures that he can get. Yeah, just
yeah.
He wants to do the picture justice, the figures justice.
Well, yeah, and that's.
Or too busy.
And well, he says, yeah, he's too busy. I can only imagine. But the interesting thing with a lot of people, and I don't think Emil was the only one. I think, or Emil.
Emil. I think it's Emil.
I've heard so many different. But he takes his figures. He does his custom stuff just because he's passionate about it, just because he loves to do it. He took them without the intention of selling them. And then ended up selling a few over the weekend.
Yeah.
So if you can sweet talk him enough, he's willing to sell some of this stuff. But I think that's like, that to me is fantastic. That's amazing that there's guys that are just going because they're so passionate about Mythic Legions, that they just want to go and be a part of something. And the tables are pretty reasonable, so I don't think it's a huge investment. And I suspect that probably gets you a ticket. So I mean, if you're paying for a ticket anyway, it's probably half the price of a ticket.
I think the exhibitors they have their tickets
Mhm.
paid already, so it's
Mhm.
included. And they also have time on Friday night to walk around the room. That's one of the things that Jeremy talked about in one of his shows, that last year they didn't have time to do that. They were so busy at the table,
Mhm.
whereas this year the exhibitors were able to walk across the main room on Friday evening
Yeah.
to look at other people's work
Yeah.
before the room was open for the public on Saturday.
Right. Trevor said he was too busy, and Mike from E Collectible says, "I hope that means we have a bunch of other releases to look forward to." That's a good point. If Trevor's busy, that's good news for us, because that might be an indication that there's more figures coming sooner rather than later. Now they did mention that All Stars 6+ may be coming soon. So I don't know. Trevor says, I told Emil I'd name my kid after him if he sold it to me. You're not having kids. Well, I guess the joke's on him. You know what? I suspect, Trevor, of all the people that he was sort of willing to sell to, I think you would probably be towards the top of the list, because he knew that he would be able to see them again in some context.
Absolutely.
Scott Baker says, Year of Necronominus, baby. Absolutely.
Yes.
So we got more stuff coming from the Necronominus wave. Yeah. So you've seen them in person.
Yeah, I did on the pictures I showed you. Yeah, they look awesome. Yeah.
What else have you got for us? I'm enjoying seeing these, because I've seen, like, it's weird. Like I said, you've seen all the pictures. You've sort of seen all the like, I've probably seen these racks of heads. I've probably seen the pictures of all these people, but I'm very, very curious.
So this was one of the table that I kept going back, and I really regret not buying more stuff from his table. Like, you have to budget your thing. So, like, one of the preparation I did before the con was doing the PowerPoint, doing the itinerary, everything. But other thing was budgeting, having a budget for the weekend, right? And so I didn't want to overspend on Saturday and not have enough money on Sunday and see stuff that I want on Sunday, right? So this table was from Paul's Customs. He's on Instagram as Paul's Custom. A really cool dude. We talked about his stuff. So he had a green horse head, or a few red horse head, and these like lizards / dragon type of heads that were very cool as well. So these were 50, and those were 40. And he had these beautiful wolf heads, like the white, the brown, and the black. And I bought one of his black ones. So that's
now. Does that just pop onto a 1.0 body?
Yeah, it's just no. So a lot of these custom heads, that's something that I discovered this weekend. I have no idea.
Is it scaled for a 1.0 body?
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. Yeah.
The holes are too big.
Yes, I didn't know that.
I knew that. Yeah.
Sticky dot inside. Well, it's not always the thing. Well, this one fits perfectly on a Mythic Legion figure without sticky dot inside. This one's perfect, but some others like this and the dwarf head that I just showed you, they need sticky dot. But this one fits perfectly on the Krampus body. So
okay. That's great. Oh yeah, of course.
The black body with the tail and the claws. So that's
neck fur. Yeah, for sure.
That's perfect. Yeah. So I bought a second Krampus from the Four Horsemen table on Sunday just for this. Still haven't opened it, but that's the plan for this head.
Yeah. Jay said, I want Emil Snake Eyes. I feel like he probably would have had a table full of stuff that I would have wanted. Mike from E Collectible said, who was it that made the Ninja Turtles figure? I may have to grab those if they're ever available. And Scott answered and said, before I was able, I think you're talking Eric Miller's turtle stuff. It is absolutely Eric Miller stuff. To the best of my knowledge, he's not selling it. And Mike said, yeah, that was it. Thank you, Scott. Those are incredible. Namely the Krang is fantastic. So it's that big old body with the chest, or the sort of stomach torn out, and there's a Krang stuck in there. They look so good.
I'm not sure if I have pictures, but I might have pictures of his table. He had one of the cleanest tables. So basically, he had a small display for custom heads that he sold, and his whole table was just clear acrylic cylinders to have figures inside. And so yeah, he wasn't selling any custom figures, but yeah, they look the turtles look great in person.
I think he's very much like Emil. I think he just really loves to do the custom work
Yeah.
and sort of showcase and show it off because it's what he's passionate about. But the same thing, like I think he's not willing to sell it unless you really sell him on the idea of allowing you to buy it.
Well, one thing that I want to get next year that I wasn't able to get this year was one of his heads. So he showed on his Eric Miller. He showed on his Instagram page like a few days before LegionsCon all the heads that he was gonna sell.
Yeah,
and there was this Medusa head. So with the snakes coming out of the head, those were so beautiful. He had 3 different painted. He had a green, a brown, and a like darker brown. And I arrived at his table around 9 and 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, and the green and I think the darker brown were both sold. It was only one that was left, which was the brown snake's Medusa head, and it was $75. I almost got it, but I prefer the green snakes, right? So so I said, okay, I'm gonna wait for the opportunity to get the green snake head instead of spending $75 on something that I want a little bit less.
Yeah, as Scott said, I think he was sold out by like noon on Saturday.
Yeah, so he was.
It doesn't take long. And the thing is, with a guy like that, right? He's got a few pieces, and like we said, like if you're already getting a ticket, the table is a little bit more. He probably paid for most of his trip just by selling off a few of those heads that he probably had like kicking around in his workshop on his bench. He was like, well, I guess I'll finish these and just put them out there. But these guys are just so talented.
They're so good.
That you and I are just snatching this stuff up like as quick as we can.
Yeah, and I wanna give a shout out quickly to people that we might not mention, like Eric Miller, Emil are people better known, more known than other artists. But there are some artists that are less well known, but they have so much good stuff as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't have like the exposure that other artists have there, but their stuff, if you go to their table, is just as good as those of Eric or Emil. Beautiful stuff. Yeah.
I mean, you touch on a very good point. It's, some people are either more active in the cabal or more active on Instagram or just whatever it is. But there are so many talented people that we don't necessarily know their names. You might see their posts. There's lots, and every time I do a live video, I can't think of anybody's name or anything. But there's I'm thinking of heads. There's a lot of dwarf heads that I'm thinking of that I know the names, but I just can't get them out. And people that just do different stuff, people that do, custom sculpting. And that's the other thing too, is like all the unpainted stuff. So my action figure customs or Wolf King or Headhunter customs or like all these other guys. There's just so many great pieces out there. And that's the other thing is like you could go to LegionsCon and buy a few painted pieces, but buy a few unpainted pieces too. And in the year between, you could get there. You could start painting your own stuff and sell it at a table and pay your way to LegionsCon if you want to.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Jay said the cereal ones are mind blowing. Yeah, he did like the Count Chocula and the what was the other one? What's the other one? The pink guy.
See if
I can't. I did those American cereals. I just don't know the names. But anyway, those were fantastic as well. Mike said,
the pink one with the
Were you looking it up? As Mike said, I wouldn't be surprised if Four Horsemen did a Medusa in the figure Obscura line, and I believe Eric has been either inspiring or predicting that line with consistency. That's not a bad take. Medusa is perfectly suited. I mean, they have, you know, the 2.0 female body. Sculpting a head would be pretty straightforward. I mean, that's just a new head and away you go. That would be a great figure. Scott Baker and Trevor also said Frankenberry. So there you go. The Americans that are watching, thank you very much for chiming in, because we don't get those cereals up here. I think this year we got Count Chocula, but Frankenberry is one that we don't get. There's Eric Miller's table. And I love that he has like a logo and he has the whole
So
thing.
I went on
Eric
his
Miller.
Instagram. Yeah.
But he's selling, you know, 4 pieces and they're gone before noon on Saturday. so it's really just him
And
hanging out with his cool.
Yeah, and here's that's the heads that he was selling. I saw this picture before the con. I was like, yeah, that's the one I want. But that one was sold, and I believe that one was sold. That one's the only one left. And like you said, by noon everything was sold. Nothing. There was even the torso, everything.
Well, and they're all great pieces. So like I'm not surprised at all. And there's a lot of people. You know, there's certainly people more affluent than myself who would just buy an Eric Miller piece just to have an Eric Miller piece. I would be a little bit more limited than some other people in some respects, but Jay Wright, you've been shouting this from the rooftops, and I'm right there with you, buddy. They need to make a brute scale Sasquatch dream figure. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Mike echoes that sentiment as well. Sasquatch would be amazing too, of course. But Mike also says, I still want Hercules and Pegasus in the figura obscura. I could very much see a Pegasus just in the line at some point, sooner rather than later, once they get through you know, the factions. I've heard rumors that there's gonna be sort of the main beasts, I guess, if you will, on the good side. So Leodicius, Etheron, Xylona, Serpent,
Basilia.
Which would be a fantastic wave as well. There isn't a bad wave. I mean, there's waves so that I like more and less, but at the end of the day, like, there hasn't been a wave. I mean, I've only been around for the past year, but I've sort of, in terms of buying, but I was paying attention for the last few years. There hasn't been a wave that was like a total dud. So I don't think that's ever going to be the case, at least for me personally. But
I'll just run quicker on the pictures.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have. So yeah, I try to take pictures of some stuff I like. So that's Lenny. He's the guy that sold me the red red horse head. I have it right here. So that's a Winnie the Pooh tribute, I believe. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. Eeyore here.
You've got Owl, you've got Eeyore, you've got Piglet, you've got Kanga and Roo. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So those were on the I believe my action figures. Oh no, Wolfing Customs table. It was a huge display from different artists. They had all their name tag on the bottom of the picture of the figures, and those were not for sale. So those were all just for show and display. But they were so awesome to look at. That one, I believe Trevor have that one as well. He
wanted it.
I think I saw in one of your picture, Trevor. I'm not sure if he's still here, but that was really cool.
I know he wanted it. So whether I for some reason I feel like somebody else snatched it out from under him, but I could be wrong.
So here. More stuff here. Yeah, so you see here, so the names were right under it.
There, Trev got it.
Yeah, Trev. Yeah, he's smooth talker and the customizer to get it. It was on the top of the thing. It was not for sale at all, but
Trev says that's Doug Dollmaker. Yeah.
shout out to him. Yeah.
I can just imagine Trevor on Friday night as an exhibitor because he had a table, so he was probably just in there on Friday night, just getting in there at all the different tables, talking to all the different people. To be like, hey, I don't know if you're selling, but if you are, I mean, I'll give it a good home.
And then he goes back to them on Sunday. Hey, I'm back.
Yeah.
So those were really awesome. Like I don't remember who did these. I don't think there was a name close to them, but I'm a huge Transformers fan. If you can see behind me, I have some. No, this way. Transformers a little bit everywhere. So I'm a huge G1 Transformers fan. So this was awesome to see custom Mythic Legions in Insecticons colors. That was really cool and was very nice. Those
now, were they? I don't know that the pictures do those justice, Trevor. Is that purple like really nice and bright, vibrant like it is on the Insecticons?
No, that was I think it was more like a matte finish. Yeah, it was more matte finish.
Okay.
That's more bright, but the rest is more matte.
Yeah. Trevor says he did a Legion's Lounge Friday night. He was wheeling dealing Saturday and Sunday. Fair enough. I actually watched that Legion's Con. That was great. That was you had people live in studio, as it were. Hey, Trev, since I've got you on here, maybe I'll ask you. Well, no, I'll ask on here just because you're on. Nate seemed to be having a very good time on Friday. Is that can you confirm or deny that? He seemed to be in very high spirits, much more chatty than he normally is.
Nate was great, and when I spoke with Nate, I learned that he spoke French. If I remember correctly, he lived in Paris for a few years. Maybe Trevor can confirm that.
Nate, that sounds like a Nate thing.
Yeah, I think he's because we spoke French together, so I think he lived in Paris, and his French was pretty good actually. So that's more heads, more custom pieces from Luis.
Those are great. Those are great.
From Luis Torres, if I believe that, if I remember correctly. There.
Trev says Nate was in quite high spirits. That's okay. Here's the thing. I may be in the minority, but I'm much more looking forward to the fellowship and the sort of partaking of the experience with like-minded individuals while I'm there. I just think that it's going to be a ton of fun. In my head, I'm already trying to sort of budget and trying to sort of think about, okay, what am I going to buy? What am I going to have on my list? I got to keep my list as short as I can for sort of budget reasons. But there's a lot of hours that the con's not on where I think it's going to be a ton of fun just to hang out and just chat with people. And we are planning to do a Saturday nights live from Legion's Con. We go. So maybe we'll have to coordinate that and schedule that. Maybe we'll try to get a room like you did, Trev, and set something up so that we can have a live audience for this nonsense.
Well, there's Nate.
Not that it's not having you on is great. This is way more organized than I've ever been or we've ever been.
That's Nate's table with his work.
And Nate, again, a name that everybody knows. And Nate designed this logo, our Knights of the North logo. So awesome work, great stuff.
So a lot of people were surprised that he was selling his banners. I think there's one rolled up right here.
Oh wow! Like the full.
If I remember correctly, they were $75 US.
What?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I regret not getting one of that.
Once we're done, I'm gonna just chat with you and be like, okay, here's the things that I want. What else can I budget for?
Yeah. So that's soup.
Panera Bread, that's great soup. They make great soup.
That's my reference.
Scott said hanging in the lobby after the show was one of the highlights of the entire weekend for me. And yes, Scott, I don't know if it was your post or somebody else's post that you were in, But that was those were I'm not gonna lie, the posts that people made of just sort of hanging out in the lobby, sort of after the show, that was the thing that I was like, oh, I really want to be there. The figures, I was like, you know what? The figures are one thing. The figures are sort of in addition to, but the hobby, the community, like just hanging out with cool folks is just something that really appeals to me.
Yeah. So that's that. So
Trevor, I
that's
need
Trevor
my
stuff.
North hat. Trevor, message me with your address. I'll make sure that happens.
That's Trevor stuff.
That's Trevor stuff. Okay.
Yep.
It looks okay.
It was great. This
Trevor says, I wish I had grabbed one of those banners. Well, you were there. I wish I had grabbed one too, but I wasn't there.
Yeah, and Trevor's table was like right across from like the island. Yeah.
He had all weekend to set that up.
So that's more.
Oh, those little halfling heads look fantastic too.
Yeah, they had a lot of people had this head on a custom like a Bilbo figure.
Yeah.
Let's go quicker here on these dwarves. Yeah, that's your stuff.
Oh yeah, the animal wear. I've seen tons of this stuff. We don't. Yeah, I chat with Jason pretty regular. I chat with Jeremy pretty regular too. So I'm very excited for that line. I'm the tabletop game, the figures, the comic books, like everything. And I've said as much to those guys, but like honestly, the way that line I think is going to come together in terms of the continuity of like just how much you get in the line in terms of the storytelling and the playability, and like I said, I love it. I love everything that they're doing with that line.
I think after the gorilla, my second favorite would be the line here. It's a lion, I think. That was
yes, yeah, that's Atreyu.
So you know the names as well.
Yes, I do.
That one looks really cool as well. The wolf here.
He's elite. He's kind of like an army builder. He doesn't actually have a name, but again, if you put me on the spot, I'll forget them because I'm doing the videos. But
that's so Dennis arrived. Dennis Derby arrived later on Saturday afternoon, and right away he put his stuff on his table, and that was the first thing that I saw that I wanted. Like I said, I walked another tour of the room. I came back and was sold. Yeah,
his stuff. I mean, the paint work that he does is phenomenal. I mean, the way that he like weathers his pieces.
Yeah,
is
exactly.
It is amazing. I saw Toy Bro in there as well.
Yeah, he was watching around. Those minotaurs were beautiful, like with the backgrounds. Wow, yeah, they were not cheap, but they were beautiful. So that's Jovas Apollo's table. I'm just gonna show here.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of his customs right here. Just go through quickly.
The chat's getting feisty. If I don't get to your comment,
yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm. You're the guest. They're just here causing trouble.
I'm gonna skip through because on Saturday evening we went to Manhattan, so I'm gonna skip through that. So that's my loot from Saturday.
Now here's the big question.
Stuff I got on Saturday.
Here's the big question. Did your girlfriend have a good time?
I know what you're gonna ask. She did. Because like I said it's important. Like I didn't hang out in the lobby on either Friday or Saturday because we plan to go to Manhattan because otherwise it would be boring for her. She doesn't know anybody and she doesn't know anything about figures. So we went to dinner on Friday evening and Saturday evening in Manhattan. We spent time in Times Square. We walked. We went to a ramen restaurant that we really wanted to go. Mm-hmm. So she had fun, for sure.
Good.
It's important. Well, if you
It's
bring your
important
wife or your
too.
family, it's important. Yeah.
It's important because she's your girlfriend and you should treat her right. It's also important because if you don't, she won't let you go back next year.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. And so that's another custom figure that I got from Nikki.
Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah.
So she was selling the whole figure and the head for like $50. So
What?
yeah, just the head and the full figure with the knife. So it was a great deal. Yeah, and
That's like cheaper than going and buying that figure to customize it yourself.
yeah, and I don't think that I think the green, like the Orc torso, is from the Trelisium Orc, if I'm not mistaken,
Oh, wow.
which is
Yeah.
pretty rare. I'm not. There might be another Orc that has a bare chest body, but
I
I'm
think
not sure.
apart from deflocking Bryophytus, I don't think there's
Yeah,
an. So
that's
either
what I saw
way,
here.
it's either an expensive figure or an investment in time. So
100%. So that's the head I got from Emil, and
okay,
that's the
yeah,
second head I got from Nikki Nicole. I put
nice.
this one on the Templar.
Mm-hmm.
So that Walter.
Walter,
Yeah.
another legend, an
Yeah,
absolute
he
legend.
was just walking around the room on Saturday and Sunday, talking to people, giving out shirts. It was great to see him. Yeah. I see the time is running pretty quickly, so I'll just go through stuff.
I'm here all night. However long.
That's a figure from Jeremy Gerard. You can see him on the back here. Yeah, so that's his full custom figures. That's his stuff right here.
And was he selling his stuff as well, or was he like a display, or was it a mix from his?
It was a mix. So he had a full display of his critters and his work throughout the years, but he had the other side of the table where his family were. He had custom heads, custom heads and feet and hands and weapons and full custom figures. I bought this one from him.
Mike just mentioned about that custom head that you got. It looks like Mad Eye Moody.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so this head was painted by Emil, but I think it was sculpted by was it Curtis or one of the dude from my wife's gonna kill me podcast.
Okay.
What was his name again?
Anthony. Anthony.
No, from the.
Isn't he from?
No, he's not from the podcast.
I can't keep track.
Me either. But yeah, that's one of his heads.
Trevor probably know. Trevor probably comment.
Well, yeah. So I got this one from Jeremy. It's a Gandalf.
Oh, nice. Yeah. The mouse wizard.
Yeah, like a little mouse wizard. Yeah, that was one I really wanted. That I got on Sunday.
That's a great piece.
And he signed
in a box. Yeah. Oh, and he signed it. Nice.
Steve
Bisciotti.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. It was from Steve. Yeah. So that's really cool.
The Lord Steve Bisciotti. One of his pieces.
He's right here.
Oh. There you go. There he is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
Mike said thinking of Knights of the North. Great. No, that was not the one I was looking for. There it is. I'm always surprised how multi-lane talented everyone who follows this brand is. Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing, is that like most of these people sort of came to Mythic Legions from some other avenue, right? Whether it was another line or sort of another, like there's some guys that were like doing customs in some other respect, and they're now doing this stuff, and it just, yeah, there's a lot of talent that sort of it seems to funnel into Mythic Legions.
Yeah, and it's not just painters, it's like sculptors and people doing soft good works. Yeah, so it's, and the
dios and like even the art stuff, right? Like even like the Nate Barch type people, it's not always figure related. Sometimes, you got your Furious 4 from t-shirt on. Retro Rags, that's another the people that made that t-shirt, right? It's just a different lane that they're in, but just still Mythic Legions related, and all those people are there. So that's the other thing, is that like it's not just about the figures. There's other stuff. There's soft goods, dios, apparel,
100%. Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, effects, special effects, very nice as well.
Jay asked you, I believe, what is your personal grail in the line? Is there a figure? Is there
Ooh.
a figure that's still, your grail? Is there still one specific thing that you're after?
That I don't have or that I do have in my
Okay, yeah,
collection?
rub it in. You have most of them. What
No, I don't.
don't what don't you have?
Well, actually, one of my favorite figures that I have is probably Balam, like the wolf with
Yeah.
the purple armor, just because purple is my favorite color. So,
Mhm.
so like this one here is beautiful for my
Mhm.
eyes. But yeah, I think I love Balam. He's really nice. I would love to get more of Balam. I voted for him for the All Stars because I just wanted to get a whole bunch of him.
Yeah,
But
me too. Me too.
it's a beautiful figure. Like, yeah.
I would. So I don't know. This is a weird segue. This is a weird tangent. But just because you brought up Balam,
Yeah.
I got one, but I think mine is like faded. I don't think like mine doesn't look as bright as most other ones look. So now I got to get a second one just to compare in hand.
He's not under sunlight?
No, but I got it secondhand, so he may have been.
Oh,
But the weird thing is, like, the armor looks great,
yeah.
but the head and the tail
Oh,
all look
really? Okay.
a little dull. But I mean, like I said, I could fix that by just getting another one.
I see that Mike is saying that it's really bad seeing all of these custom heads. I 100% agree.
Well, it's a slippery slope, right? Like as soon as you start going down that path, you get the head, but then you got to get a figure that it's going to work with.
Yeah.
You don't want to just put them all in a bin. I mean, that's a disservice to the sculptors and to the painters and all that kind of stuff. So that's why stocking up on the Legion builders and stuff like that when you can is always a great idea. And
That's the
there's lots available through Mike at eCollectibles. So the Leech, I was about to open this just before, but then I was like, no,
oh, nice.
I'll wait and do it after. So that's my first ogre scale figure. And
Nice.
Johnny Tam, one of the other admins of Knights of the North, hooked me up with this.
Nice.
So
I
I'm
got
looking forward to getting that on the package.
I got my set from Amir already.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So for those who are in Montreal, get just Mythic Legions from Amir. I get all my Mythic. He's like 15 minutes from driving from my place, so it's really close. And when he doesn't have the things that I want, he gets them from Mike and then he sells them to me. Like he didn't order any of the white wings and the head, the feet and the handsets from the
the
Elation Wave.
heads and
And
packs,
he
yeah.
got them from Mike, and I just got them from him. Yeah.
Now, as far as Jay's question of Grail figures, what's the Grail that you don't have?
A Grail that I don't have.
Are there any left?
I think Joran Runshaper, like the blue.
Sure. Yeah.
Blue
Yeah.
Dwarf. Yeah, I think he's one that I really wanted, but I never pulled the trigger. I don't have everything. I have most of the stuff that's after Mythic Legions 1.0. So like,
okay, yeah.
But yeah, I think the Dwarf Joran is one that I would want. It's
yeah.
I love his colors. It's bright blue colors, beautiful.
Do you typically do you go by faction? Do you just go by figures that you like? Do you like dwarfs or like what's what do you
I go by a faction. So
okay.
I don't have a picture of my display right now, but I have them by Alicia, the Aratir, the Chronominus, so Xylona. So yeah, by faction.
And have you completed any factions? Are you trying to complete any factions?
No, I don't remember. There's like I'm trying to obviously I'm a little bit OCD, so I have like my Excel sheet with every everything that I have. I'm
Yeah.
trying to see where I have holes to fill, but no, I don't remember exactly.
Yeah. Fair enough. That's I'm kind of the same. Like I love Zylona's flock, but there's figures in different factions that I also like, and then there's also like there's a couple in Zylona's flock that I'm like, well, if I don't get Artemis version 1, I'm okay with that because I got version 2 and she's fantastic. So
Yeah.
I
think my favorite faction is Zylona's flock.
Well, it's the correct answer. I mean,
that's yours too, right?
Yes, that's absolutely my favorite. And that's, I mean, I love the sort of magical elements, the woodland. Maybe that's a Canadian thing. Maybe there's more Canadians that sort of can relate to that. I just love that there's a little bit of everything in that faction as well. There's different races, and in my headcanon too. Like just as an example, this guy in my headcanon with this head is in Zylona's flock.
Nice. It's true with the
so that's why he's got the antlers because that's sort of woodland kind of thing. So
exactly, yeah.
My forest troll is in Zylona's flock in my headcanon as well.
There's a lot of people that were selling custom troll heads. I didn't get any because I don't have extra trolls to put them on, but like happy troll heads, like, so yeah, it could fit on Zalona really much, like big smiling troll heads. So that's Jeremy. I'll just go quickly here. Jeremy, more custom stuff. That's the set sign. Yeah, that's the picture I posted on the on the group.
Oh, we'll get to that in a sec. I'll just a couple quick comments and then we'll get to what, like, kind of what happened. Trev said Leodicius is his favorite faction, but I like Zylona too. Jay said the only faction I have complete are goblins. That's not a faction, that's a race. Although they are technically all in the same faction. They're fun and underrated. I don't know if they're underrated or underappreciated. I absolutely love the goblins as well. And if there was a race that I would want to complete, it would definitely be the goblins. Mike said, I swear most people I speak with are Zylona fans, and that half giant is totally flock built. Absolutely, man. I think it fits perfectly. Now, should we get into what happened Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening?
Yeah.
So everybody's
so
that didn't go to the con, and everybody's living vicariously through everybody that's posting, and most of us are watching the Cabal because that's where most of the action is, and we're up in here in Canada. Knights of the North is kind of like, oh, we saw the Necronominous figures, they look great. What are you guys gonna buy? We're sort of chatting about that kind of stuff, and in the Knights of the North group, a post comes up from somebody that doesn't post a lot, that doesn't comment a lot. He's, you're around. I mean, we've chatted a bunch of times before.
We actually traded before.
What's that?
We traded once.
Absolutely. And a post goes up that says, "Hey, I'm at Legion's Con, and I can get the exclusives. Does anybody want me to pick one up, bring it back, and ship it to them?" And I saw it, and I said this to you before we went live. I'm pretty sure I saw it before anybody. I think I just liked it and then sat back and thought, man, I don't know that this guy knows what he's in for. What happened after you posted?
Well, for starters, for people who doesn't know, like I said, the all the exclusive were limited for 2 per person, right? So I never have any intention to buy more than 2. I just bought for myself. And I had one. I had one going back to Amir. That's pretty much it, right? And I was like, okay, so on Sunday evening, so like on Saturday evening, I believe like 4 p.m., they called it like, they called no more limits on the unknown one, right? So which is the this one right here. Let me just grab it. So there you go. They lifted the limit two per person on Saturday. That was too late. But on Sunday around 11 o'clock, the ban was lifted, so people were all going back to get more sets of this, right? The Furious 4.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I'm here. I'm still running, walking around, and I know people are from Canada. Like nobody's here, basically. So I was like, okay, because to have chatted with people around the room, like nobody is from Canada.
No.
So I was like, okay, I'll bring some back, right? I never expected to have my inbox exploded the way it was. Like it was crazy. I kept going back to so I believe it was part of like Jeremy's family or Joe Vetera's family that was on the table selling
Yeah.
these. I
Yeah.
kept going back. There was like 2 or 3 ladies that were there, and I kept going back. And once I bought like 3 or 4, and they made a mistake in the payment. They charged me one set more, so they gave me back $100 in cash. I walked around the room. I came back 10 minutes later. I bought like 4 more sets. So it's just crazy. I was buying so many sets that they gave me donuts at the end, just because I was going around so many times. Yeah. So yeah, I bought a lot. I tried to accommodate everybody that sent me messages. Some people sent me too late. Some people I thought I was able to get. I wasn't able to get everybody, but I think almost everybody was able to get their set. So yeah, and also I was just going for this one, and people were asking me, were you able to get this one from Saturday?
Right.
At first I was like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
But then at like 1 p.m. they put these out as well. So then I started to get this one. So I just had 3 boxes of figures. Yeah, bringing back to Canada. Yeah.
So 2 questions.
Yeah.
One general and one personal. First of all, how many figures did you buy for other people?
That's a great question.
Roughly.
If I remember correctly, the unknown set was 9. It was not more than 10. So that was less popular. The Furious 4, if I remember correctly, I missed one guy. So it was about 14 or 16, if I remember correctly. I know people asked me for 2 sets that I wasn't able to complete as well, but I believe that's yeah, I don't remember correctly. Something like
that. Like how many cases did you have to load in the vehicle?
3, just for the exclusives. 3.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's not bad, but yeah, it's like
I felt like there was more, but that's still. I mean, that's amazing. I mean, that was a massive gesture. I said as much. Either in that post or in a post sort of after that, but like the fact that you were even willing to do that for people was huge, and just speaks volumes about your character. And that was the impetus for me sort of reaching out and being like, hey, we should have a video and sort of put a face to a name and stuff like that, because like I said, we don't hear that much from you in the group.
No, I don't. I'm not very active on Facebook groups. The thing is, when you're so I collect so many stuff. I collect Mythic Legions, but I have Transformers, Marvel Legends, other lines as well. So I'm in so many groups. I don't have time to interact with everybody. But yeah, so that was one hell of an interaction with a lot of people.
I imagine, and that was like I said, when I saw the post, my first reaction, because I do these videos, but I also am an admin for the Knights of the North, but I'm also an admin in a GI Joe classified group, and I've posted things where I'm like, hey, I'm here and I have access to this GI Joe figure, and people come out of the woodworks, and you're just like, well, I didn't even know this person was in the group, let alone somebody that I was going to interact with. But you're a good man. You've done a good thing. It's amazing for the group to sort of have access to some of this stuff. And
I see that you're an admin on the GI Joe group. I just want to plug that I'm an admin. We have a group called Marvel Legends Canada. For those who are not on it, I'm an admin on that page.
I'm in that group.
Oh, you are?
I'm in that group too. Yeah.
Yeah. We have like
In the-
maybe 3,000 people. I don't know. It's pretty much just selling. It's not as there's not as much as a community as some other groups with lesser
Mhm.
people. It's just selling and buying. But yeah, it's a nice group.
Jay said, "That's awesome. I had a friend grab them for me. I would have taken you up. I only wanted to need them to complete a couple customs." Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's I mean, man,
Yeah, I'm running
so
through
much
some
great stuff. So much
Yeah,
great stuff.
so this guy he flocked his mouse and his rabbit.
Oh, is that Jesse's stuff?
Yeah, that is. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
that's it.
he did a I think he did like a live video in the group of like how to flock
Oh,
figures.
nice. That's his table. Yeah, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he does a bunch of videos. Just
Yeah,
shelve it. Yeah, that's his.
he was very nice. I went back to him a few times as well. We chatted. I wanted to buy I think the halfling head that you saw earlier was from his table.
Mhm.
Again, I waited. I went back. Sold.
He does a whole bunch of custom thistlethorns, and
Yeah.
that's right up my alley. If anybody knows anything about me and Mythic Legions, that that's what I am obsessed with. But
Yeah. He had a huge dial. I believe it was like $325 or $350. He was selling a huge dial. For Xylona's flock, like it was like a big deer.
yeah, with the head that came
Yeah,
with the yeah.
it was beautiful,
Mhm.
and he sold it. So he switched it for a more like area tier, like battlefield type of
Right,
dial. Yeah,
right.
that one I regret not getting it from Trevor.
Trevor's picks, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it and I went back and I forgot, and yeah, that was really nice. So that's the head I got from Trevor.
Hmm.
There you go. Oops. On Sunday.
Very nice.
A Minotaur, more figures, round table. Yeah, so that's I forgot that this guy's names, but he had like really cool customs as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Corn Boy.
Port boy.
There we go. This one was not on display on Saturday, and they showed it on Sunday. So from Zombie 13,
Hmm.
my girlfriend hated this one. She doesn't like this one at all. More dwarf heads. This guy. So this guy, that table was for those who were at the show. That was probably one of the coolest table.
Hmm.
I don't know if I have I don't have a full on picture of his display, but he does a lot of skeleton customs. Bad boy.
Pat Boyle. Is that this one or is that the?
No, this one's Rich Guys, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's his table. That was cool. Someone was selling these two, the two sets here.
Hmm.
This one, Joe, and more.
Joe. That's Joe who put on the show.
Yeah, more. Yeah.
George hates fun. I love that T-shirt.
Uh,
Bill from Dork Lair.
pictures. Yeah, more pictures. Eric, more pictures. Bill, the critters from Jeremy.
I love those.
Yeah, so that's one of the critters is exactly the one I got. I think the staff is different.
Okay. Yeah.
That's on a Thistlethorn body.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That Trevor.
There's Trevor.
That's Trevor. Rich Kais. Yeah, Rich Kais does the skeletons. Rich Kais. That's my
That's
loot.
the haul from the weekend
Yeah, exactly.
for everybody else.
Yeah. Let me just go back here. Yeah. What did I get from Rich? Oh yeah, I got this head from Rich. This custom. I have it on a wolf from D20.
Nice.
This I don't know
Like a
if you can
skull
see.
helmet on a.
Yeah. And one of the things that I really wanted to get that I saw a lot online before the show was a Minotaur piece. And that's the one I got.
Okay, yeah, nice. Is that an ogre scale?
Yeah, it's on the Shadow Ecrodron body. It's exactly the Shadow Ecrodron figure, but the head and the snake piece from Rich. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
That pretty much sums up my pictures, I believe. I took a lot.
I, I think if any one of us went, we'd probably take at least as many.
Yeah.
That's. Thank you for all of those. That's fantastic, and I'm very happy to have sort of gotten some of your insights, some of your information from that. Here, I'll pull this down so you can close that up.
Yeah.
Now, for the rest of the people watching, for the rest of the Canadians in the Knights of the North, budget wise, what did this Disneyland type holiday cost? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, sure. So I did, I did a lot of preparation before going. So without counting the motel, which was about 300 Canadian, but that always depends on who you are. If you go on a more expensive hotel with the family, whatever. For custom figures and the exclusives, initially I brought 800 cash, US cash, and it was not enough. So most vendors there, they prefer cash. The only table that I used my credit card was at the Four Horsemen table. So those I used my my credit card, but the rest, yeah. So on Saturday evening when I was in Manhattan, I had to go to TD Bank in Manhattan I took out a little bit more cash for Sunday. I still had some left from the 800, but I wanted to make sure that I had enough. So yeah, I took more. Yeah, I took out more, and at the end of the day on Sunday, I still have, I think, $120, $130 cash left. But so it always depends what you going for, right? So first thing, how many exclusives you want to get, right? So depending on 1-2 sets, the exclusive prices are $50 or $100. That right ahead. And then the custom pieces, now that I know how much they range from 100 to 250 for the custom full figures, and the heads from 25 to 50. I can budget a little bit better next year. But this year, I what I did was I planned a budget for regular figures and a budget for custom pieces. But my budget for custom pieces overlapped way more on the regular. I didn't buy that many regular figures. Like the only regular Mythic Legion figures that I bought, mostly from people that I bought from the Cabal before going to Legion's Con, and I told them, can you not ship them to Canada and we can meet up during the weekend? But I think 75% of the stuff that I bought at the Legion's Con was custom stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Are you going next year?
I am going next year. Of course. Are you?
Like Sunday, leaving on Sunday, were you like, I'm coming back next year?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm coming back for sure. And we left. So the show closed at 3 p.m. The door were closing at 3 p.m. on Sunday. I believe we left maybe at 4:30 from Secaucus, New Jersey, to drive back. But yeah, for sure, 100%.
Next question for the budget-conscious Mythic Legions fan.
Yeah.
Would it be worth going just to go? And what I mean by that is if you can just get a ticket and tag along with somebody and chip in for gas in a hotel and not even have any money for any figures, would you still go if you couldn't buy anything?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like 100%. You don't have to buy anything. Like you don't have to buy anything at all to enjoy, like even the exclusive. You don't have to buy anything out to enjoy the weekend. Just being
Yeah.
there, like you said earlier, like being there, hanging out with people at the lounge, hanging out with people in line, in the breakout room, in the main room, walking around the tables, seeing people's work, just watching, like looking at people's work is just worth the the for those who don't know, the entrance fees. The ticket is only $25.
Yeah.
So it's for a whole weekend. So it's really not that bad. $25, and the rest you just enjoy the weekend. Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome. As I mentioned before, like I was already planning to go.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to go, even more now than I was 1 hour 49 minutes ago. But I won't keep you any longer. It's been an absolute pleasure. We'll have to have you on again to chat about something else. I don't know what. If there's something you want on and talk about, yeah, you're always welcome to. We'll chat a little bit after here. So stay on after if you want to. But very much appreciated. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you to everybody in the comments who was here hanging out, asking questions, and just getting some insights. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you want to watch more. If you want to know when I'm doing any live videos that are sort of outside of the normal scheduled ones, hit that notification button as well.
And
it's
if you enjoyed my my slideshow about the Legions Con this year, don't hesitate to hit me up on Facebook. Adam asked me if I had like YouTube or Instagram. I don't have any of those, but I do have a Facebook, and I'm very active on Facebook. So message me and I'll answer you as quick as I can. If you have more questions about precise details about Legions Con, about Mythic Legions, about
awesome
Transformers, nope, the site. And thanks to everybody for being there, for being here.
Absolutely. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. Like I said, it's been fun to have you on. I shouldn't have waited so long to ask, because as I said, when I said, hey, do you want to come on? Your response was, well, how come it took so long for you to ask?
Because actually when Patty came to my place to pick up his figure, Unknown One, he said, yeah, we can have you on a stream with Adam to answer questions. We have a lot of questions. I was like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll answer your questions. So yeah.
He never mentioned that to me.
He didn't. Oh.
so as soon as we're done,
I told him he came to my place like a week after Legions Con.
As soon as we're done, I'm going to mention Patty and say like, hey, why didn't you bother mentioning to me? Because it was like I said, you're a quiet guy. I sort of see you, and I know you, and I've chatted with you a few times. But you're not one of the more outspoken people. So I just thought, it was tentative, and then you posted, hey, everybody's figures that I picked up have been shipped out. Thank you for your patience and so on. And that's when I messaged, and I was like, hey man, let's chat about Legions. Let's chat about this really, really cool thing that you did. So I'm very glad to have had you on. And we will definitely have you on again. Thank you again. Thank you to everybody that watched. And until next time, have a good weekend, have a good evening. Thank you very much. Good night.